one of the movies that has kind of become one of several poster children for this whole COVID pandemic and a movie getting delayed and delayed and delayed and going through changes is Disney's Black Widow, Marvel's Black Widow. That has been delayed several times. Now we do have an actual release date for it. It was moved off of its May release date. It just got pushed further back into July, and it's all that. But an interesting fact or figure or study, depending how you want to look at it, has just come out about that. And that is this. Instead of all of the delays causing, the forecast for the box office of Black Widow to tumble and go downwards, they're actually saying that these delays have increased its box office forecast. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at Joe Blow, one of my favorite movie news sites, as a matter of fact. And they write the following. All delays aren't bad, at least in terms of box office during an ongoing global pandemic. Marvel's Black Widow was set to be released in May of 2020, and that's forever ago now, but was delayed several times due to COVID-19 crisis that resulted in the movie theaters being shuttered all over the world. Now that vaccines have begun to roll out more effectively and COVID-19 cases are going down in various areas, moviegoing is beginning to pick back up again, even though Disney decided to further delay the release of Black Widow until July. Some box office experts think the most recent delay will pay off nicely. Now, this is where they get into the meat of it. According to a new report coming from The Observer, Black Widow is expected to triple its domestic box office gross to about $170 million because Disney decided to push the film further into the summer months. Before this most recent delay, and this most recent delay, which saw the film coming out in May of this year, the domestic projection was just $45 million. The $170 million projection seems pretty incredible, especially considering that Disney Plus subscribers will also have the option to pay an extra $29.99 or $30 to watch the movie at home through the streamer's Premier Access program. With the global box office also picking up, particularly in China, the $200 million film has various avenues to make a profit despite capacity limitations from most movie theaters. Jeff Brock, and they go on and on and on. So anyway, long story short, before they made this move from May, when Black Widow was still supposed to come out in May, their projections were that this movie was going to make about $45 million. Moving it a couple more months, and I'm sure the Godzilla vs. Kong success has a lot to do with this. Now they're projecting this movie can make upwards of $170 million. And remember, they're just saying that domestically. Now, are these projections correct or incorrect? Well, I'm sure they're probably in the ballpark. Like, I don't know if they'll be bang on the money. I don't know if we'll see $170 million, but they'll be in the ballpark. Consider this. Godzilla vs. Kong has already crossed the $50+ million mark domestically, and it's already crossed the $300 million mark globally. A Black Widow movie, I mean, just a few months ago, it would be considered inconceivable that given the current climate, that a Black Widow movie could actually make $400 million, given the current environment. But with this move now to July, if Godzilla's already crossing 300 and Godzilla vs. Kong could indeed cross that $400 million mark itself, maybe even more, Black Widow exceeding $500 million for a Black Widow right now seems absolutely conceivable, when not too long ago, it absolutely didn't. So I think these reports that are coming out are really rather interesting, certainly very encouraging. Now, will this be enough to convince Marvel and, well, more importantly, Disney, to convince Disney to remove Black Widow from the $30 premiere access and just go full theatrical? It's possible. Now, look, after the Godzilla vs. Kong numbers came out and we saw that it was making $300 million, I said, and I still stand by this, I guarantee you that there are at least conversations happening at Disney right now about just giving Black Widow the full, just regular 45-day window theatrical release and then put it on Disney Plus. And I got to tell you, with reports like this coming out, that may even further those conversations. Now, look, don't misquote me. I am not saying that Disney is going to pull Black Widow off its $30 premiere access thing on Disney Plus. I'm not saying they will, but I am saying they're having those conversations. You know they're having these conversations. And I think it's a possibility. I think it would be a good move for them. But who knows? Question is, guys, what do you think about this? You're seeing these numbers being thrown around for Black Widow that just not long ago would have been absolutely inconceivable, in the words of Vincini. Inconceivable. But now here we are getting these types of projections. What do you guys think about it? Jump on down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.